Good afternoon and welcome to this Sunday's healthy edition of DKW, and today we're going to be talking about healthy eating, healthy shopping, genetically modified foods and much more, as we're challenging that phrase, you are what you eat. Before we do that, let's see what else is coming up on today's show. You are what you eat, and that's what we're going to be discussing today. And I'm your host, Shireen, but of course, I'm not alone in the studio. I've got with me the meaningful Melissa.
Oh, well, I hope to be meaningful
Well,
today.
I hope so too. I've given you that intro, so you've got to live up to it, Mel. We've got the very sunny Samantha with that yellow coat.
Exactly.
I love it.
I've got my sunny jacket on today.
I haven't been with you for ages.
Yes, I'm missing you so much, and I'm back.
Loving it.
That with a bang.
Yeah. She's back. And
Nice
of
to
course,
see you,
we've got the
Shireen.
very giving Gemma.
Well, I'll be giving with my opinion, that's for sure.
That's what that's what we expect.
Hi everyone.
So, you are what you eat. What are your first thoughts that come to your mind?
You definitely are what you eat. I think if you eat a lot of junk and a lot of things that are bad for you, you'll see it in your face in terms of spots, etc. You'll see it in your body, you'll see it in your weight, and you'll feel terrible.
Okie dokes.
And likewise, the opposite. You are what you eat. So, you know, when you're eating healthy, you're conscious of what you put inside of your body. Then, in a way, your body gives back to you.
Definitely. Yeah, your food is fuel.
Yeah.
It's fuel.
Food is
Yeah,
fuel,
and whatever you put, if you're going to
definitely.
put junk in it, you're going to feel junky.
Oh, anybody would like to just have a different opinion, Sam?
You know, we are exactly what we eat, and I just think that, you know, in society itself now, I think that people are getting more healthier because
Yeah,
they're
it's true.
thinking about health far more than you know, back in the days where anything was acceptable, and I think it's a good thing.
It is unfair though, Shireen, because some people, although they eat junk, like I know someone who's really skinny, she's no stranger to
do you know what?
DKW.
We're going to come to that, Gemma, because there's often
She
this
eats loads
perception that
of
just because you're
stuff.
skinny, you're healthy.
Yeah, exactly. She eats loads
No?
of junk, but she's still skinny.
Yeah,
Well,
that's
that's
naturally.
skinny.
And
I
you've
mean,
got some
ask her-
people are
ask her to
naturally
run up
large.
the
They don't
stairs.
kiss a
Well,
lot.
this is
Ask her
it,
to run
this
up the
is it.
stairs. Maybe she's skinny, but she can't make it up to the top
And
of
maybe
that
that
stairs.
chubby one can get right up
Like my
there.
son. Okay,
True.
stop, girls. We're going to get into the show later on. But first, let's go for a little game. So I would like you guys to have a look at this picture on the screen, and I want to find out from you guys what you reckon represents what. So just wait for it to come up now. So balanced diet. You're going to see different colours which represent different food groups. So you've got the pink, you've got the yellow, you've got the blue, and you've got the purple, and kind of like a nice green. Now, fruit and veg. Where do you think? Which colour do you think represents fruit and veg on this plate?
Could it be green?
I'd say it should be yellow.
Yeah, I agree. I'd say it would be one of the bigger parts. So yellow.
I would even think that yellow should be even more, if it is yellow that is, should even be more like fruit, fruit not really, but veg I think should be like the majority of your
The
plate.
whole combined. She wants to combine them.
Combine them all.
Alright,
Two colours.
So Mel and Jem, you're going for yellow.
I'm going for
And
yellow.
Sam, you're going for the green.
Okay, yeah.
All right, I can let you know right now that actually it's pink.
Okay, I was going to say yellow or pink.
It
They're
has
the
the
same portion.
same percentage.
Well, you didn't say that colour, did you? Next
I
one.
think because pink is more like pinky, meaty, isn't it?
Yeah, I was going to say that.
Okay, let's see,
Something else.
let's see.
No, well.
Okay, what about bread, rice, potatoes, and other carbs?
I would say
Blue?
purple. I'd say
Let's go for purple.
I'd say blue or green.
Blue or green?
Carbs, oh, yeah, I would say green.
Green? What about you,
Blue.
Sammy? Sam. All right, then, so blue, green, and blue again. And the correct answer is... It's green!
Ooh, well done.
Well done. Okay, the next one. Milk and dairy.
I think dairy is quite important. I'd say it's blue.
I'd say it's the other. Since the other one's green.
Since we know, it's got to
So
be blue.
go for blue. Go for blue.
Gotta
Yeah.
be blue.
It's blue. Well done, ladies. Yay. And fat and sugar. Now I know that most of the time it's
It shouldn't even be on that plate. No, joking. I'd probably
Say purple.
purple.
Yeah,
fat and
definitely.
sugar. Purple. What about you, Sam? Going
It's
for
got to be
purple
purple
too?
because
Yeah.
the least of the least.
Okay.
Of the least.
She's going to go and say it's yellow now, isn't she? I'm joking.
And of course it is purple. All right, so that leaves now meat, fish, beans and other proteins.
That's what I thought was pink, but obviously it's
Yes,
yellow.
it's yellow, and I would have said it's
Of course,
pink.
correct,
so-
it's yellow. Now, has that surprised any of you guys?
Not particularly,
Not really.
no.
It kind
to
of
be honest with
balances
you.
out quite well, doesn't it?
Yeah.
The percentage, not so much the colours.
Yeah, exactly.
Is your
What
plate like
the
this in
portions?
normal everyday life, do you reckon?
In everyday life, no, not really. I actually don't really like meat that much. But I love having greens and so on. So that's why half of my plate a lot of the time is salad or is
Fabulous.
vegetables
Same here.
and things like that. But obviously I do have a few sweet treats. So the purple's a bit bigger than that plate. And
I was going to say.
hence why I've gained a couple
Yeah.
of pounds, which I'm trying to lose.
You never believe, you never
Is that why?
All right, ladies, before we get back to your opinions, let's have a look at what happened when Jennifer Lon hit the streets and asked people, you are what you eat, is it?
Would you eat genetically modified products?
Yes, I would.
Yes, I would eat GM food. It just depends how you alter those strands within the food to actually create or draw from it what you want. Do you know what I mean? If you want to increase a certain vitamin.
I think it's quite hard to avoid at this day and age, to be honest. If you go out to dinner, if you go to cafes and eat food, fruit and vegetable, you're going to eat it.
You don't necessarily know what you're eating, so I'd probably say no, but I'm sure I have done.
Sometimes we end up eating those products without even knowing because it's not correctly labeled or we don't take enough time to read them.
I don't really like the idea of it, to be honest. I kind of think it's messing with nature, you know.
What do you think makes healthy eating then?
I think a balanced diet is always important. It's the thing they've always banged on about. And there's so many fads that come and go, should you eat fat, should you not, should you eat sugar, should you not? But I just think eating a balanced diet for you, it makes you have the most energy that you can have.
Yeah, I don't think you should ever restrict yourself too much as well. I think it's really unhealthy to restrict yourself. I think it's alright to just have a few naughty things here and there as long as you're doing it in a moderation.
Don't buy anything that is opened from a packet.
People think cutting out foods or not eating some foods makes healthy eating, but I think in eating lots of different foods and eating lots of foods actually makes healthy eating.
But I am vegan, so I don't eat dairy and meat, so I eliminate a lot of stuff from my diet anyway.
Instead of a strawberry yogurt, maybe it's better to get just a plain yogurt and then put some strawberries in it, Less industrialized, I think, is best.
I think your body tends to crave stuff if you really need it as well, just kind of being a bit more in touch with your body.
What deters you from buying organic products?
The price.
I quite like buying organic products, but then, if I haven't got the money, then that's obviously one of those things. It's always more expensive, so yeah.
Definitely the price. I think it's very unfair that they let this parallel industry run beside the chemicals that go into agriculture. I think if the chemicals are bad for us, they should just stop companies and agriculture business from putting those chemicals instead of letting this parallel over-expensive industry that is the organic industry to run next to the other one,
That's why the market has the word organic, is because it's another way of getting people to spend a little fraction more on food that is pretty much the same, sometimes even come from the same farm, just a different field. Do you know what I mean?
Very interesting views on those streets, isn't it, ladies? I just want to ask you, do you guys buy organic foods?
It's a tough one. Sometimes, if I see something that looks really healthy and probably the ordinary doesn't look so healthy, I'm going to go for organic, but it's not something I do religiously,
Why is that then?
To be honest with you, I can't be bothered. When I go to the supermarket, I look for the best deals a lot of the time because I don't consider myself an unhealthy eater. I like to go for, like I said, fruit, veg a lot of the time, and I don't like to have a lot of junk food or micro food. I don't eat any of that stuff. But to go organic, when I get my fruits and veg and stuff, now I get the best deals.
The best deals
rather
over
than
organic.
Well, the problem is,
Mel?
for me, I'm kind of, I don't know, I guess my mentality towards organic food is kind of, you know, if I'm cooking for somebody or if I'm doing something special and there's organic ingredients, then I guess my brain just thinks, oh, that's special. That's, you know, extra special, so I'll get that. But I don't buy it on an everyday basis. I mean, I have tried with the fruits and veg. There is a company that delivers organic food to your door. And I signed up with them and got a box delivered one time, but it just
and then realised you need an extra salary for
this
that.
Is it. I can't keep this out. I've just got to go with the standard, you know, supermarket stuff.
That's what it is, really.
Since you've bought it and you've eaten it quite often, I was going to ask you: is it that it doesn't taste very good, or is it down to price? Because sometimes
it's
it just
more
doesn't
down
taste
to price.
good.
Yeah.
Price.
Well, for me, from my experiences that I've had, I can't say, oh, it doesn't taste good because it's organic. No, I can't say that. It's more down to the price.
For me, it's
and
price.
It tastes very similar.
Yeah, it does taste. For me, it's price and time. So if I had time to be healthier and the money to be healthier, I definitely would. If I had the time to prepare things from scratch, and you know, I really would be super healthy because I like to look after myself. But sometimes you look at the prices, and because you're not too sure, you know, what the difference is between organic and the normal stuff. Really, like an organic carrot and a normal carrot.
Yeah, but how can you? My point is, how do you really know if it really is organic? And that's the thing for me.
Well, I'd like to hope that they don't lie when they put organic on the packaging.
Yeah, but you know, I'm seeing
organic.
I've seen a bunch of bananas. They both look absolutely great. Says organic, but
and you know, it's funny because someone was saying to me actually that if they didn't sort of play with our food, was this Jennifer? I can't remember. That we probably wouldn't want to buy it anyway because all the apples would look all bruised and battered and stuff.
Oh yeah,
yeah. But you know, I'm not sure I want to buy a bruise and an apple in its normal size. I like that green juicy apple.
Maybe that green juicy apple is not actually healthy.
I know, and that's the thing. It's all the way our mind is conditioned, isn't it?
This is what my mentality. When I go to the supermarket, yeah, you do look at the colours and the things, and it kind of brings an image of health, all the bright colours and things like that. So you look at vegetables and fruits and you think, okay, those are good for me, that has vitamin C, I'm going to get that.
Yes.
If foods, like we have foods that are labelled organic, if foods were labelled genetically modified, maybe that would change your mentality, but they're not, so you don't, that's not the first thought in your mind, like, all these bananas, they're not organic, so, you know, should I get them?
Yeah.
You don't kind of think that.
So my day's okay, well, it's very, very interesting, guys. Well, are you buying into the propaganda of things?
My sister's changed to organic, and she says that she feels more healthy now that she's taking.
Might be psychological.
And
you should say that. I actually said that to her. I said, oh, it's all in your mind.
Because sometimes when you make a positive decision, you do feel great. It's like me taking my vitamins every day, and I feel wonderful that I've made a good decision.
There
I
you
don't know if that's really what I'm feeling in my body.
This is the thing.
Well,
but organic's good.
Well, organic's good, but you won't go for it. Now, the thing is, there's so much to hear about this, and I'm so glad about your opinions that you've given, but we're going to be going to a break soon, and when we come back, we're going to be meeting with nutrition therapist Susie Green, who's going to be able to educate us more on this subject and see where we're going wrong and where we're going right. So stick with us.
Do the maths. Changing your life is not as simple as changing your hairstyle, your shirt, or rearranging the furniture in your living room. You're talking about years of deep-rooted habits, behaviours and problems that are not going to change overnight. Many may say, think positively, but the trouble with that is that you can't do or change anything with just thoughts. But add action into the equation and the outcome can be different. Let's do the maths. Positive thinking plus action equals a change. Whatever it is, if the change is significant, if it's worthwhile, then it will have to take time, effort and homework from you.
Uplifting.
Diverse. Vibrant. Dynamic.
Powerful. Youthful. Informative.
Energizing. Passionate.
Motivational. Freedom. Lively.
Excitement.
Welcome back, and joining us in the studio we have Susie Green from Green Vitality with us in the studio, and we're very, very happy to have you on. And I know you were watching before our very kind of mid-heated discussion on health. I wanted to find out from you, what inspired you to do nutrition therapy?
Oh wow, there's a question. I come from a very different background. I was a tour manager. I went on tour with bands for about 10 years.
Oh, wow. Big difference.
Couldn't be more opposite, because it's not a particularly healthy lifestyle for most people. And you're working really hard, you're really stressed out, you're not getting good sleep, and it's like Big Brother on the road. It really is. You're stuck with a group of people.
Eating at any time.
Yeah, and I found a lot of people around me were getting ill. And as soon as one person's ill, everyone gets ill.
Oh, yeah.
So a way to kind of look after people on the road was very much about introducing better food, because invariably it's about fast food and quick convenience, and it's actually the same things that, on a broader sense, people are busy, people don't have time.
Yeah, that's the thing.
So that was how it started.
Yeah.
Wow.
So why do you think that people fear, or I don't know if fear is the right word, but in a way resist healthy foods?
I think healthy foods are changing in some ways. I think people are scared they're boring. First of all, I think they think it's going to be mung beans and it's going to be vegan and all the fun things have been taken out. And actually, that's nothing to do with healthy. That's kind of just uninspiring cooking. You can eat lousy, processed fast food as well. So it's actually about the quality of the food initially and how it's prepared. I think as well, people are scared it's going to cost them too much money. And it's interesting you were talking about the organic thing, and you were mentioning about cost, because organic food is more expensive. So people do bulk, because actually, proportionately, we spend much more of our income on rent and mortgages than 40, 50 years ago, when actually we'd spend more on food. It's become squashed, so that's a big thing. And time.
Do you think people should buy organic though?
Yeah. Oh God, that's a question. I think first of all, budget is really important. Not everyone can afford it. Yes. So I think there's a whole kind of concept of, it's called the dirty dozen and the clean 15. And the point is, the dirty dozen are the ones that if you can, try and buy organic, you've got the money. And the clean 15 are the ones that you don't have to worry about so much. So actually, you're talking about bananas. Yes. Bananas are a clean 15. Like anything that you'd peel, not so important as organic.
I'm really happy to hear that.
So avocados and things, you peel them. But the ones that tend to hold on to a lot of pesticides and things, and that's the issue. That's why you don't really want to be having high amounts of heavily pesticide-laden foods, of things like broccoli. That are...
She loves broccoli.
Broccoli is fantastic. It's fantastic. But non-organic broccoli has been sprayed with up to 15 different chemicals.
Right. Oh my goodness.
So if you're buying non-organic broccoli, it's better you buy non-organic than not buy it at all.
Yeah.
Wash it really well.
Wow.
Which again, lots of people.
So if we wash it, we can wash away these pesticides and stuff. Kind
To a certain extent.
That's what they say. Come on.
Right. Well, like carrots, for example.
Yeah.
Better if you peel them.
Yeah.
So some things you can take a lot of because a lot of the residue sits just under the skin of the fruit and vegetable. Apples, for example, a good wash because they've got quite a thick skin.
Yes.
You won't get rid of everything, but it's better than not washing it.
Yeah, that's what I want to know is, are genetically modified food as unhealthy as people claim?
That's a tricky question. I mean, again, there's a lot of research going on. It's very controversial. But I think, first of all, if you think of a common sense point of view, it's not been around for very long. And I think these things stand the test of time. Like if you think, even like with nutrition and dietary advice in the press, how much things have changed in the last 10 years. 10 years ago, we were all on low-fat diets.
Yes.
Now it's all about low sugar, low carbohydrate, high protein. It's completely done a turnaround. Similar with the food industry, they were using trans fats.
Yes.
Have you heard about trans fats? A big no-no now. 20 years ago, our foods were full of them. But now they've withdrawn that. It's all about shelf life. That's why they were in our foods. And so now they're really bad. So who's to say that GM foods in 20 years' time
are not going to be proven the same?
So we don't know that. And also, if you want to look at it globally, it's the best food and the best breeding, if you like, is about biodiversity. And if GM food is about honing it down, it's the opposite, which again, on a planetary sense, isn't great.
You're talking about life before and life now, and I just want to find out from you, because you've got a lot of experiences. Do you think that our lifestyle, like modern society, the way that we run our lives now, has an impact on how healthy we're being? Do you think it's a good thing, or do you think we have got more opportunities now than before, or it's more of a challenge?
It's good and bad. I think it's more of a challenge because we're so time poor and we're so overstretched that if you're looking about food again, that's why processed food is about convenience. And it's quick and you have to think about it too much and you can throw it in the microwave, and then it's done. Whereas if you think years ago, food was prepared. And when you prepare your own food, you know what's in it.
Yes.
You're not putting in 5 tablespoons of salt and 5 tablespoons of sugar to give it some kind of flavour, which a lot of processed food is very high in exactly those things, makes it very calorific. Or they put in fat, which processed food has it's called mouthfeel.
Oh yes, I'm a victim of that.
It's the criteria for when they're producing food. Exactly, it's instant gratification.
Yes.
So whilst modern lifestyles mean we don't have the time to make it, that's the price we're paying.
Yeah.
We don't know what's in our food.
Some people might argue that, because some people might argue that, okay, I'm having all this quick food, but I exercise it off. I've got my bike in my house and I'm going on the treadmill quickly. Back in the day I couldn't do that. Now I've got all these machines in my house, I can quickly burn it all off. So isn't that okay? As long as I'm burning it quickly.
Well, first
you'll be amazed at how many people think like this.
I was going to say, first of all, how many people do you know like that?
Quite a few. Quite a few people I know,
right,
who do this.
But
I think I get into this thing of calories, because for example, I've got this really good friend of mine, and she counts all the calories. So for her, she likes to eat what she wants to eat. But she will literally be, I've consumed 1,000 calories today. I must be on that bike for at least an hour or 2 hours to burn it all off, and I'm okay.
Wow, she's really disciplined.
Yeah.
That's it. I know, I'm impressed. I think
what she thinks.
Yeah, I mean, if you think, again, your grandmother never thought about how many calories on my plate.
Yeah.
We've only had to worry about this because we eat so much processed food. We have much higher sugar and fat and the starchy bread, carbohydrate stuff, that pasta and whatnot. So that aside, I think I've totally lost my train of thought.
I was just saying that this thing, what I'm trying to get at is that this thing that we spoke about earlier, about people that think just because they're skinny, they're healthy because they've burned off the food, but it's not just about that, is it? Yeah. It's really about what you're taking in. But there is this culture that's coming about that as long as you burn it off, it's okay. You take what you want, as long as you can burn it off quickly.
Yeah. I think that the trouble is you want everything or most things that you're eating to have some kind of nutrition in them.
Yeah.
So there's plenty of people that live on Diet Coke.
Yeah.
And a biscuit and think I'm skinny, I'm healthy. But again, you touched on it before, that doesn't mean to say that they feel good.
Yes.
And I think that's a lot of the problem with the way we look at healthcare today. We're not looking at feeling our best and feeling vital and having loads of energy.
Yes.
We're just trying not to be ill.
Yeah.
And that's a big difference.
Yeah.
Very good point. You're so right, because for me personally, obviously I'm not the thinnest person in the world, but for me it's about having good sleep, waking up in the morning and not feeling tired, and being able to do what I want to. And I think of the future, I think of cancer, I think of all these things when I try to eat. But going back, price. That's my issue, and I've said that. How can you eat healthily on a budget? Because I'd love to be a lot more healthier. I'd love to go to like these whole food places, and or even go to the farm. I just don't have time. I don't have the time, and I don't have the money. It's affordability. How can we eat healthily on a budget?
A lot of it is about what you choose to put in your basket. It tends to be the more packaging, the more you're paying through the nose for. There's another food industry term is value added product. Like breakfast cereal is a very cheap product that they've processed the hell out of, and then they charge you £3 for. And it's a little bit of flake corn that they've stripped all the vitamins out of. And then they say fortified. Which basically means that they've had to put some of the vitamins back in. Because there's so little in it after they've processed it. So a lot of it, if you choose to what you put in your basket is the food, how it should look. For example, breakfast again, porridge oats, dirt cheap. You can literally make yourself by just have a bowl, pour boiling water on, go and do your makeup, come back and it's cooked itself. So it doesn't have to be throw some fruit on top and a few nuts, and you've got a really great breakfast. It doesn't have to be expensive. And the other thing I always tell clients is batch cooking. So if you have, it's a nice thing to do. If you have a couple of hours on a Sunday, I mean, some people have a couple of hours sometimes. But
while they're watching the show, they can just
be staring.
Difference.
Yeah, and you make small portions and you freeze them, and then you can take them out in the morning, and then it's defrosted by nighttime, or you can take it to work, have it for your lunch. And that way as well, you don't cook a big pot of food and then you're eating the same things for 5 days in a row, and you're bored. The whole point is you have your little stuffy things in the freezer.
I love that. Going back to shopping, what do you think in our weekly shopping rather, should we avoid? Really avoid?
I would say, I'd say processed foods.
The less you really would stand for that.
The less something looks like what it came from, the more you should avoid it.
Right.
The other thing is anything that has more than 4 ingredients, probably not great either, because once you start getting into looking down the ingredients, again, it's a lot about manufacturing. Like they'll have sugar. You might think, I understand, ingredients, and you'll see sugar as the second thing, and it's ranked in order. So the biggest ingredient comes first.
Right.
But what a lot of, when you get savvy with it, you might see sucrose, and then glucose, and then fructose. They're all sugars. So
it's a lot of sugar.
So basically, if you've got something that's got very simple ingredients, invariably it hasn't been processed that much.
Right. So when it gets all this complicated that you're thinking, I can't. That's not in my cupboard.
Anything you look at, you think, what's that? It's not good.
It's not good. Well, I'd like to ask you a quick question, because something I've realised I'm really interested in of late is the more kind of natural ways of healing, in terms of not having to use so much medication, etc. So I'd like to know what health problems could be cured through your diet.
I love that question. Wow.
I would like to very broadly say, get slapped down for it, all of them. But obviously that's, but many of them. I mean, whether that's physical or mental, because it's very, again, there's a lot of research to back this up, that even with, they've used vitamins with school kids, in prisons, with various sort of challenged sectors of the population, and found that there can be a big difference with when people are getting the right nutrient amount. So that's quite key. But also, if you think about, they call all root of disease is inflammation. And if you think that you can have, so whether that's heart disease or strokes or diabetes is a big subject at the moment,
big one.
which absolutely can be cured with changing your diet. and that's fact.
Yeah.
Wow.
So
Amazing.
instead of
Reduce,
medication,
yeah.
it's about having a personal responsibility for your health.
Wow, I love that. And I'm going to end on that note because, gosh, it was just fabulous having you on the show, Susie Green. It was great. To be honest with you, it's in a few minutes, but I already feel really educated.
Yeah,
I feel
definitely.
empowered.
Yeah.
So I think I could do this health thing.
Yeah.
I think I can own this, you know.
Take the responsibility.
I believe I
We
can.
need to though, don't we?
No, we really do.
We really need
You know, we
to,
really do.
on a
Especially when we're
serious note.
shopping and things like that. I really feel like, I'm really going to look out for them. Thank you for all these tips. I'm sure they've helped everyone that's watching too. And if anyone wants to get in contact with Susie, please visit our website, dkw.me. Thank you for coming on the show.
Thank you.
Please stick with us because we're going to be developing this topic further.
Are you a duck? What can it do? It swims. It walks. It flies. But does it do them all well? Yes, a duck can do all of the above, but it's not known for being great at any. So, are you a duck? Rather than attempting to do all things, why not be the best at one thing at a time? You will find you'll actually learn to be great at more things.
Welcome back, and before the break we were speaking to the lovely Susie Green about many things, including the Dirty Dozen and the Clean 15. We're going to have that stuck in our minds, I think. Really, really good. So we're asking the question, can eating healthily really be enjoyable? Well, some of our DKW ladies hit Ethos food to find out. Check this out. Ethos Foods. We're about to enjoy some very tasty vegetarian food here. I'm here with Jessica Kruger, who's the founder. I'm very, very excited to be here today.
Yeah, we are very excited to meet you, Jessica. So my first question is, what is the ethos behind Ethos Food?
Ethos is all about just deliciously tasting meat-free food. We like to call it meat-free rather than vegetarian. And it's food that anyone can enjoy, and it's just great food.
Jessica, why vegetarian food? How did this idea come up for you?
I became vegetarian or almost vegan about 2 years ago, and it changed my life. You know, going from a normal, a typical diet, and then becoming vegetarian, where you've got a lot of different choices to make. And I was very frustrated eating out, which I love to do with my friends. So I began researching a lot of blogs, looking at food and for ideas to cook at home from the internet. And there's so much out there, which is great. And it sort of sparked a passion within me.
That's really interesting because you're not from a restaurant background, so this all came from a passion for wanting to have better tasting vegetarian food. So your ideas, where did they come from?
From research, from all the cookbooks that I bought. My library is huge now, and from trying things at home and finding new spices and adding them into different dishes from time to time. So just research, and it's all I think about sometimes, you know, what to make for dinner, what am I going to do for lunch, what's a different breakfast idea. It's just, I live it and breathe it.
So the idea of this restaurant just came from a passion for wanting to cook vegetarian food. So tell me something, Jessica. How hard has it been starting this restaurant? Tell us the truth.
Pretty hard. It's the restaurant industry is one of the toughest, and I've really come to see why. It's very long hours, breakfast, lunch, dinner. It's setting up everything from scratch, buying the tiles that you see here, buying the fireplace, choosing all the different finishes and decorations, refining the menu, tasting the menu. No, it needs a bit more salt. No, it's too sweet. Go back and change. And then hiring staff as well it's been tough, and paying all the bills to boot. So it's pretty intense.
It sounds like it's been a really exciting journey for you. So tell me, what is the best thing about opening this restaurant?
It's the customer feedback. When they say, if it's on Twitter or on Instagram or just telling us face to face how much they love the food and how excited they are about it. So you can sort of see them walk in the door for the first time and their eyes are big and say, oh, look at that. It's the facial expressions as well. It's just gold, and it makes it all worthwhile.
Jessica, I've heard about your Scotch eggs. Tell us what's inside of it.
Sure. It's a soft-boiled egg, free range, and it's got chickpeas, potato, some Indian spices, cumin seeds, cumin, mustard seeds. It's dipped in an egg wash, rolled in panko breadcrumbs, and then deep fried.
Well, I'm here with George, which is the main chef at Ethos Food, and he was telling us some very interesting facts about why this kind of food is really good for us.
Okay, why? I'm going to explain you why. Because we have collect all the best ingredients to create this food. Okay, I have make a long investigate in my life to discover which one food is good for the human body. Okay, so and finally I make it after so long time to create nice recipes for the human body, especially for women's. Yeah.
Oh, I like that. That's good.
No, you know something? I have seen customers here, women, special women. 3 months ago, they come in here and they have some problems with the face, some sticks here or something. So they start to eat in here. They eat in this salad, which one is rich in protein and make very good lifting for the face. Yeah. So after 3 months, these women, I see them again and again and again. I see the difference in the face. It's more shiny, more healthy. You know what I mean? Yeah. Actually, this is what we do here. We produce healthy food for the customers.
It feels very filling. Vegetables are just right.
Well, did you know, Kim, that this restaurant Ethos is actually part of one of the top 10 healthy restaurants in London, according to The Guardian?
I can understand why.
Well, ladies, that was really, really fun and very enjoyable, very delicious, I must say. But I want to find out for you, before we go to a quick game, what are some of the lessons that you learned from Susie when she was on?
Well, for me, it was mostly about this whole organic food thing that we spoke about before. I think knowing about the Dirty Dozen, the Clean 15, I definitely want to look into that exact list and get all the details of what they are. But I think that my conclusion is that I'm going to need to shell out a little bit more on the apples and strawberries and get the organics on those ones.
I agree.
Okay, a bit more investment, yes?
Yeah, more investment indeed.
Definitely, and wellness is more important than skinniness.
Oh, we do love that. We do love that. That's
well, Gemma's proud of herself.
I'm going to keep my size. Yeah, so we keep my size and just eat healthy, okay?
Yeah.
Now, ladies, I've got to check this with you. Which of these controversial hard stomach foods would you eat? Now, I want you to have a look at the screen. First of all, we've got foie gras. Have a look.
What is Foie gras.
Look at it. Doesn't it look delicious?
What is it?
Foie gras.
know what that is.
Well,
I don't know what
it's a fancy
is.
term.
It's
It's a fancy
grass.
term. I'll tell you now. It's a fancy term for cooked duck or goose liver. And it's produced by force-feeding the animals until their livers enlarge to about 600% of their natural size. Fancy that, ladies?
That's absolutely terrible, isn't it?
Thank you.
Now that I know the history, I could never bring myself.
You can never eat that, no?
I don't like duck anyway, so I'd
It's
never.
got a little
eat-
bit of salad next to it.
No.
Yeah.
No, I don't think that the consistency of it is going to be very nice anyway.
Yeah,
I don't like those kind of
why would I
muesli
want to
things.
eat the duck's liver? I'm not.
Well, apparently it's really good for you.
Yeah.
Is it? Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I do
These
actually
foods are
like
really good
liver.
for
I do
you.
actually like liver. And liver is good for you.
Yes.
But
I don't like
duck's
duck.
liver, and the fact that they're having to enlarge it and
Yeah.
all
Really
that,
cruel.
that's cruel. It is
Could be
cruel,
quite
and it
fattening,
doesn't sound
but
too
very
right.
delicious apparently. Well, let's try this one. How about veal? Baby cows may be cute, but plenty of carnivorous people will also agree that they taste delicious. Most of the debate surrounding veal has nothing to do with the cow's age at the time of slaughter, though. Instead, the problem for many people lies in the way the animals are raised. Would you go for veal, ladies?
Definitely, that baby
It's
cow.
isn't it? It's beef.
It's
I do
cow
like-
to beef. It doesn't
I
would
do
make
like
much
beef.
difference. I would think that the younger ones are a lot more
So
tastier
it
and
doesn't matter for
healthier.
you the age at which they're slaughtered, doesn't matter what happens.
At the end of the
No,
day,
I don't.
every cow knows what their purpose in life is, I think.
Oh my goodness,
And whether you're an
Gemma.
old cow or a young cow.
You're going to end up on a plate.
You're going to end up in my freezer.
Is Gemma's opinion. This does not represent DKW as
Baby
well.
cow looks lovely and juicy, delicious.
Lovely and juicy, okay. All right, let's go for the next one. Now I know this is really, really good for you. It sounds horrible. It looks awful.
There is no way I'm going to eat that. There is no
Gemma,
way.
you don't even know what it is yet.
I do.
You can see that it looks like placenta.
Yes, it is
That looks
placenta.
disgusting.
And it
You are
looks
completely
awful.
right. You are really, really right. So it's often eaten dried, like jerky or the
No,
form of
that's
supplements.
It looks
This,
sickly.
I know it's hard for the stomach, but apparently this has got loads of vitamins.
I hear
inside
that,
is
and to
really
be honest
good
with
for
you, I can't actually say that I would never eat it. I might. I mean, can you cook it?
I mean,
can you do it?
you wouldn't know if somebody gave it to you.
No, I
probably
would.
not.
I'd never take anything without knowing what it is.
Okay.
But because I know, I do hear that this is very good for you, and it does contain a lot of nutrients and whatever. I might try it out one day. I can't say to
I
you.
know
I've got to be a no-no on
I
that.
know people that have lived to 100 years old and they've had fruit, veggies. They've not eaten this.
Exactly.
So I'll give it a miss, thanks.
Give it a miss. All right. Okay, let's have a look at this one. This is bullet. Hope I'm saying it right. If we had to choose.
Ballot. Maybe it's ballot.
Bullets.
Oh, it's like eating a little egg.
Oh,
It's actually a little chicken.
I can hardly bear to look at that.
It looks like a chicken not formed. Is it?
Okay, so this egg is a staple in Filipino street food. It is considered a high-protein snack in China, and commonly it's served with beer.
What type of egg is it though? What animal?
looks like
a fertilised duck.
Apparently, it's a fertilised
embryo.
duck embryo.
Again, I don't eat duck, and the fact that it's not a fully formed duck is an issue for me.
But
So-
Gemma, the cow was not really fully formed. It
No, but
wasn't
the cow-
fully grown,
Look,
and you
Melissa,
would
the
eat
cow
that.
had its legs.
But it even looks like it's got the feathers on it.
But the cow was formed. This is an embryo. This is not even formed. This is not even a duck yet.
Okay, darlings, don't worry. We understand you're not going to eat it, and that's
Definitely
fine.
not. None of those things.
All right, let's take a short break, and when we come back, we're going to be developing this topic much more. Stick with us.
Hello and welcome to Love Talk.
And basically it was just to meet the in-laws and get their trust and
Well, myself.
Yeah, you got it right.
Yeah,
I'm actually happy for you.
Let's talk about sex, baby. Let's talk about you and me, right? That's how
That's
they
a
say.
good one.
Run away from temptation. Run. Then run another one.
This is so serious.
There is the right kind of honesty and the wrong kind of honesty.
Welcome back, and today we've been asking the question, are you what you eat? And this has been a really, really good topic, ladies. Really, really fantastic. I must say, I've been learning a lot. How about you guys?
Definitely a lot.
Yeah, it's been good.
Yes. Well, I want to throw another thing at you. There's another phrase, a little bit of what you fancy does you good, and I actually do live by that.
I agree.
A lot of what you fancy. But do you think that rule that should really be ruled out completely?
I think people should have a little bit of what they fancy. Like, for example, I was 3 sizes bigger than I am now, and I was on a really strict diet, but you know, at the end of the day, there were some times where I did want a little chocolate or a little snack or a little crisp, you know, something that you like. Do you see what I mean? And I think everything in moderation.
Yeah.
You know, if you stick to a really strict diet and you're always eating things because you know you've got to stick to that, you know, it almost your mind almost wants to rebel a little bit.
That's you know? And I think in everything there is balance, and I'm thinking about myself. I've never ever dieted, and I've always been able to maintain a standard weight, and you know, I eat healthy, I keep it balanced. I do like sometimes a bit of junk food, as although I am balanced out with a healthy meals.
I love a good piece of cake.
But sometimes I do want to have a fish and chips, or I do want to have something that isn't so healthy.
I agree with that.
Yeah, but I think that if you're going to be having chips every single day or something so unhealthy every day, of course it's
and your
not
body's
going to
take it. It makes you feel sick. Your body does say it's too much now.
Yeah.
It's just too much.
But I think eating is happy. It makes you happy, and I think you need to eat what makes you happy.
Well, that's quite controversial, Sam.
I think that goes back to that saying about variety. It's the spice of life, and I think that at times it is good to be healthy, but at times you will want to have those little treats here and there, because it's not just about being healthy in your body, but also mentally healthy. And if you're just gonna have to, you know, always stay away from that little piece of chocolate,
you're gonna crave for it
or
more,
you know,
I think.
walk past the ice cream shop and you can never go in there. I mean, all of those things don't make for good.
But you know what Sam said about eating to make you happy? I think that people need to change their mindset.
That's what it is.
Because if you eat to make yourself happy, in terms of eat to make your body run well, it will lead to happiness. Like a lot of the times when I don't eat properly, I'm more moodier, I'm like more stressed out, I don't feel like myself. That is when I'm unhappy. And I know it's because of what I'm feeding my body. I'm more tired, I'm fatigued. But when I'm eating right, or when I'm treating myself right, I do actually feel happier. So a lot of the time people think, oh, I want those donuts and those fried this and fried that. It makes me happy. No, actually, a lot of the time it makes you feel down and dreary.
Well, once you've had it, isn't it?
Yeah.
Well,
Once
we've
you've
got
had
some
it.
lovely tips, isn't it, don't we, ladies, to help people to live with this healthy lifestyle, but not having to do that much. So Mel, do you want to kickstart us?
Yeah, I think it's really important to do a shopping list to plan, because when you don't and you just kind of go out there's so much in the shops. And when you're just kind of shopping on impulse without planning, you end up, first of all, spending a lot more. And you will buy the wrong things, because also you see there's so many deals out there, and a lot of the deals are on the treats and things that are not necessarily good for. And you just think, oh, that's good. Oh gosh, I've got to get that now. You know, next week it's going to be double the price. And you just end up picking up a lot more than you would have, and a lot of the time it tends to be that you're picking up a lot more unhealthy things.
So true.
But before I move on, I would like to actually give a little testimonial back to about what we were talking about before. Just carefully. Oh no, Shireen, you put me off now. Okay, let's forget it. Okay,
your testimonial.
That's fine. Go ahead. Go for it.
Oh, okay. No, basically, I used to be somebody who used to eat a lot of like sweet things, and you know, really kind of like to treat myself with a lot of different treats. And now I find that I am a lot more health conscious, and because of that, even though I still like the treats and stuff, it's when I'm having them, my body does, like I said, your body speaks to you. My body does tell me that's enough now. That's enough treating yourself now. So it's a really valid point what Gemma made, because sometimes you think that it's a lot of those indulgent things that make you, you know, happy. Like I used to love to eat a load of macaroons. Now I can only stomach like 1 or 2, and I feel like I've treated myself now. That's enough.
I feel good now.
And that's because I'm more focused on putting the right things in my body, and so my mentality has also changed.
But the problem with that, some people don't have that balance and they don't listen to their body and they just don't have the self-control. So they'll eat all the healthy things without no self-control. So sometimes people don't listen to themselves, maybe like you.
What other tips do you have?
Well, back to the tip. I've got a tip. Now, you know, this is something that my producer's prepared for me, to be honest with you, because I do waste food. So the average family will waste, is it £60? Throws away £60 of good food every month. Now we all say we haven't got enough money and we all won't pay rises, etc. But £60 worth of food every single month.
That is a lot.
Away.
Wow.
So what can we do? We can freeze food, and that is something that I actually learnt from Susie, to batch cook and start freezing it, because you know, my sister can tell you, both sisters can tell you how many times I've put pasta in the fridge and then it just goes off and I chuck it in the bin. So I will take this tip, and also only buy what you need.
That's very important,
because sometimes I am a sucker for a good deal, like buy one get one free, buy two get the. Sometimes you don't even need it, and I am always buying these deals. I buy bags of salad and then they rot. I'm like, oh no, throw it in the bin. But to be honest, if I'm a bit more wise and careful with what I'm actually buying and freezing what I haven't used, then I will waste less food.
You know, spinning off of what you're saying, you know, Gem, I think eating in smaller portions also helps, because I can talk about this. I love to fill my plate.
Yeah.
I'm one of those people, I don't know where this comes from, but I need to fill it. I just need to fill it. And I never get through it. And you never get through yours.
I
know
never can finish my meal ever.
I never get ever. My eyes are always so wide.
Yes.
And the thing is, because it's there, I feel like I can't waste it, so I've got to eat it. And I'm getting full, but I feel like I need to see it clean. So that as well is not good, but the smaller portions help. You feel good that you've not put too much on your plate, and you've done it. You've done enough. Fill the rest of your body up with water. And I think that will also help you.
But have you realised that when you're given a portion, a lot of the time you eat it and you're satisfied, but the more that you have, the more you want to eat. And that's why I end up putting it in the microwave. It stays till the next day, and then the next day, and then I chuck it.
And then your microwave kills all the good stuff in it as well.
Yeah, well, this is why it's good to actually eat your leftover foods and bring them to work for lunch. That's exactly what I actually do. I cook more on a daily basis, or if I cook more, and then I bring the leftovers to work, and I save so much money that way.
Definitely.
So that's another tip for our viewers.
Definitely. One thing I realised as well, just this month, going back to the whole sort of smoothie thing, I started having green smoothies, which I'll talk about in my video diary when I do it. But basically, I wanted to feel good about myself. And sometimes a lot of the fruits that you buy is quite expensive, but when you buy them frozen already, now hopefully there's organic frozen, let's see. But if you buy them frozen, a lot of the time they're cheaper, and it's so quick to like put it in the smoothie maker. So if you can buy frozen, that could be another way.
I think that a lot of people kind of tend to think that frozen fruits or tin fruit, they don't have the nutrients in them. It's a shame we didn't ask Susie about this, but I think that they still do have nutrients and things, but that's just something that's in people's minds, that it has to be fresh.
Exactly.
Well, ladies, it's been lovely having you on the show, but we're running out of time. It's always like this when we have these gripping topics.
Very educating show.
Yes, it really has. Have you learned a lot?
I learned so much.
Are you going to be different in your lifestyle?
I think I'm going to go a little bit more towards the organic.
Definitely. Dirty dozen, clean 15.
This is it. Organic.
Yeah, less money on the handbags, more on the organic food.
I do love that.
This is it.
I'd actually like to conclude on Melissa's point about the handbags, because indeed, the most important investment in this life is you. Your health means everything. And if you see yourself that way, that is what you're going to do in life. You're going to find a way to make healthy choices, because don't you think you're worth it? Remember, although you've got your mortgage to pay and life is really hectic and you're always running around and there's so much to do, remember, you are the most important person, and it begins with the food choices that you make. So, I would say put into practice everything that you've been hearing on this show. I definitely will. Not very good with my health choices normally, but after hearing everything I've heard today, I'm deciding that I am worth that investment. We'll go for organic, we'll try to plan and put all these tips into practice and be different, because at the end of the day, you are worth that. I'm going to leave you now with Gemma's wedding video. Until next week, bye-bye.
It's been a real journey, I have to say. So much has happened. I could barely do this video. I thought I had so many things ticked off and done, and I was raring to go, like I said. All of a sudden, in this month, my caterer didn't kind of work out the way that I wanted it to. My decorator, which I had like sort of booked since last year, kind of bailed out on us a little bit. What am I going to do? Who am I going to find now? Do we hire someone? Do we do it ourselves? So I've had all of that to deal with. And I also, because I like to do things in advance, am I an organised person? This month I also, or was it last month? I can't remember. I also got the contraceptive implant in my arm. I think it's 4mm, this little rod sort of thing. And my fiance was like, are you really going to share this? Yes, because you're going to know why I'm sharing it. Because I don't actually want children. But so many people have spoken to me like, you're going to change your mind a couple of years in. But yeah, I really don't want children. I have this dream that my husband and I were going to travel the world, and the reason why I got it early is because I just wanted to see how it would react to my body, because everybody's different. And I was a little bit nervous because I did read about the side effects, and I know some of my friends have had it and stuff and they've had a bad time. The past month has been a nightmare. I was feeling more stressed than I usually feel, more emotional. Do you know when you feel overwhelmed by just everything? There were some times where I felt like I could have cried at any minute. I don't remember crying about the decorator. My hormones were all over the place. The doctor did say to me that it's normal because it does sort of mess with your hormones. Really bad, then I can take it out in a couple of months and try something else. I'm really praying that it's going to work out well, but to be honest with you, with this plus all the disappointments of this month, it has been full of lows. People keep asking me if I'm excited. In general, I just feel like, okay, let's get this ticked off, let's get it done. My bridesmaids and my mum's super talented, and my bridesmaids are all going to help out with that. So I'm really excited. All of that's just sorted itself out as well. So I'm here with Verena from Not Just Cupcakes, and Verena is no stranger to DKW. All of you know her. She's a fabulous cake maker and she's got some great cakes for us to test today. Hi Verena.
Hi Gemma. Hi Daniel. Hi. On your platter here you've got Victoria sponge.
Okay.
You've got the traditional fruit cake.
Yep.
You've got chocolate cake with ganache. You've also got a vanilla sponge with chocolate ganache. You've got the Italian meringue filling with a vanilla sponge. You've also got lemon curd with a plain vanilla sponge.
Wow. So maybe Daniel can help me make up our mind about it all,
definitely
right?
will.
Cool.
Yeah, and you want something light, not too heavy as well.
Definitely.
Because I think they get the cake at the end of the day. So it's something they either take home or they definitely after they've eaten as well.
Yeah. Obviously you can't please everybody. But we don't want a wedding cake just for ourselves.
Exactly.
Yeah, but you can have a wedding cake just for yourself.
If we can't decide, we could have them all.
As you said, isn't it?
You
Your favorite saying, isn't it? Favorite saying is variety is the spice of life.
The advice that I would give, weddings can be stressful. You do all of this for one day, don't you? But one thing I have noticed, and I've actually learnt this from my fiance Daniel, is that you have to just be rational and you have to be logical and just think, okay, how can I solve this problem? But if you get yourself all muddled up into a stress ball, then you can't usually see the solution. And that's what I've learnt this month. It didn't help out because obviously I didn't feel myself. I felt like I couldn't rationalise like I usually do, and I even had to say to my family and to my fiance, like, okay, if I am a bit too emotional, please just bear with me. I wish I had my well woman here, not to promote well woman. I've been taking that, trying to get my green smoothies in. I can show you all of that in the next video actually, because I'm also trying to lose weight. When I went on the scale on Sunday, I saw I lost about, was it £6? Yay! Haven't seen it yet. The scale says I lost £6. Next instalment, I'm going to show you the green smoothies, like what I've been taking, and I'll update you on how I feel. And then you'll see our catering and maybe a bit of our decor. So stay tuned. See you later. Bye.